Tony Perkins, the Alabama Republican, says pro-life Americans need to strongly speak out against laws like this.
What's happening in Massachusetts, it's despicable and disgusting. We are telling the truth. We are speaking that to the American people in the way they need to hear it. When I saw this law being passed and women cheering behind them about being able to take the precious life of their own child right before that child is born, there is a pit in my stomach that, you cannot explain.
Senator Britt's full interview will be heard when This Week on Capitol Hill is broadcast beginning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time Saturday on the Salem News Channel. President Trump threatens a lawsuit over a report on National Guard deployments.
President Donald Trump is threatening to sue a left-leaning think tank unless it retracts a report that says his National Guard deployments to various cities did not reduce crime as Trump has said. The letter gave the Washington, D.C.-based Center for American Progress until the end of business Friday to issue the retraction or face a $5 billion lawsuit. The center has declined. The nonprofit's president and chief executive says the lawsuit is a transparent attempt to silence the center. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
President Trump is appearing in South Carolina to support Senator Darlene Graham, his chosen candidate to replace her late brother, Senator Lindsey Graham. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 517 points, the Nasdaq rose 113, the S&P 500 advanced by 33 points. This is SRN News. European groups go all in on assisted suicide.
Several NGOs funded by the European Union are now calling for the establishment of a universal right to physician-assisted suicide. The EU's Intergovernmental Working Group on the Human Rights of Older Persons is working on a new treaty, and the NGOs are urging that a suicide right be added to the document. A growing number of European nations allow a person to take his own life with a doctor's aid, and supporters want the practice to spread. Michael Harrington reporting.
President Trump has picked Dr. Heidi Overton to lead the Food and Drug Administration. Overton is the deputy director of the White House Domestic Policy Council and a trusted figure in the Trump administration. She's also an outspoken pro-life advocate who's very critical of abortion pills. If confirmed, Overton would be positioned to roll back Biden-era FDA rules that made the drugs more accessible. This is SRN News. It doesn't happen often, but Japan has executed a convicted murderer.
The Ministry of Justice executed 58-year-old Suna Takami for killing 5 people in an arson attack at a pachinko parlor in Osaka. Takami poured gasoline on the floor and set it on fire, killing 5 customers and employees and injuring 10 others. His defense argued that he had diminished mental capacity, but the courts upheld his death sentence. This execution came 17 years after the crime and marked the first under the current Takaichi administration.
The BBC's Karumi Mori in Tokyo. An attacker wielding a sword has killed 1 and seriously injured 2 others at a school in Sweden, according to local officials. The suspect is in custody. The attack took place at the Brunel School in Fagersta, northwest of Stockholm. More details at srnnews.com. From Washington, I'm Keith Peters.
USA 3 to save $200. That's EdenPureDeals.com. Use USA and the number 3. Shipping is free.
If you want to continue to be one of those uninformed voters, uninformed people in this world, then change the channel because they're going to give you information you can work with.
They got human excrement running all around the place.
Your home smells of feces.
Yes.
People peeing in the streets.
Ooh, do you smell something?
Needles in the streets.
These are not tears. We are vomiting from our eyes.
And yet, what they're worried about? The words you use to call criminals. Because there's a certain stigma they don't want criminals to have to deal with.
Could we talk about something else?
I'm going to give you information that's going to make you have to make a decision, have to do something about what's going on in this country.
Something resembling anything.
If you want to get involved in the conversation, 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563. Check out my classic podcast. There's so much going on the website, but do something. Get involved.
The Joe Messina Show.
there. We're back at it again. Am I? Yes, I am. Okay, good. We're back at it again. Joe Messina, your host. Always a pleasure to have you with me. 855-REAL-JOE. 855-732-5563. Look, get involved, get engaged. Yes, yes, yes. And be part of the solution. All right, look. We've got Brad Dacus is coming on a little bit. I got a whole bunch of little cases I want to talk to him about. And some of you, you always... You always ask me questions for him, but it's usually like we're in the middle of a conversation or, it's coming up on the last segment. So if you can think of anything now, things that you want to talk about, right? Ask me now. Or ask me as they come to your head. Pop them in the chat room. And you can find that at joemessina.com, joemessina.com. All right? That's simple. So... Again, Brad Dacus, Pacific Justice Institute, protecting your rights, working with you to make sure that your kids don't get taken away from you. And don't laugh because it happens. We've got a mother going to jail right now for up to 3 years because she hid her son from being forcefully, and I'm saying that, forcefully transitioned. We need some more of these kind of cases too, seriously. Right? The New York Times lost a defamation lawsuit ordered to pay over $9 million after falsely linking innocent Alabama basketball player to a deadly shooting. They don't care. They check nothing. So the New York Times just suffered a massive historic defeat in court. An Alabama jury on Thursday ruled that the fake news New York Times, defamed Kai Spears, a former University of Alabama Crimson Tide walk-on basketball player, ordered the paper to pay him $9.25 million in damages. Now, Spears was just 18 years old, freshman walk-on, when the Times swept him into a 2023 story about a fatal shooting in Tuscaloosa. The paper's report falsely claimed that he was a passenger in a car at the scene of the January 15, 2023 killing. Right? I mean, can you imagine? Devastating. And the only thing the paper's going to say, oops, sorry? Yeah, not acceptable. It's not. It's just not acceptable. 855-REAL-JOE. 855-732-5563. Anyhow. 3 Alabama basketball players were connected to the incident. Spears was not one of them. He was never charged with any crime and had no involvement. After a 9-day trial, federal court in Tuscaloosa, the 8-person jury, it found the Times liable for defamation, right? And they're just putting out false information. Why couldn't they look it up? Why couldn't they make sure or double or triple check? We're talking about an 18-year-old kid, ruined his life. The case was 9 days in Tuscaloosa. The 8-person jury found the Times liable for defamation and false, called light invasion of privacy. The article by the Times sports writer Billy Witz relied on an anonymous source. Oh, here we go with the anonymous sources. An anonymous source described as a person familiar with the investigation. Isn't that great? It wrongfully placed Spears in the car with star player Brandon Miller when the shooting occurred. At the University of Alabama, officials and Spears' father immediately denied it. The Times stuck with the story until after Spears filed the suit in May of 2023. Only then did the paper issue a correction admitting the passenger was actually student manager Cooper Lee, not Spears. Spears has said that the false report was 100% inaccurate and that the writer showed complete disregard for the truth, which I believe. Right? I mean, think about this. He's been described as linked to this. Now, when you go anywhere, you go online and you type his name in, it shows that he's linked to it. The Times, they're spinning it as an honest mistake. No, when somebody's screaming that you're wrong and this is why you're wrong and here's the proof, and you won't even investigate it, look into it to see truly what the truth is, then it shows your total disregard for the truth, especially as a journalism. You should know better. Charlie Statlander is the paper spokesperson. He said he's disappointed the jury found the Times liable for an honest mistake. He's reviewing its legal options. Jurors clearly disagreed. It's the same New York Times that lectured the country about disinformation, threats to democracy, while publishing any anonymous source claim to get its hands on. Just amazing. Ruined a young man's life overnight. So the pattern of recklessness, the agenda-driven reporting. Now a jury of Alabama citizens have put a multi-million-dollar price tag on one of those mistakes. Good. Nail them big. Take them down. You don't necessarily have to put them out of business, but you make them stop, and next time somebody brings a story forward, you go, hey, let me see your proof. Not interested in anonymous. Let me see your proof. And the other part of that is that, really, as being anonymous, what they can do is the publisher or whoever talks to the person, talks to the anonymous person, verifies that that person is not just real, but really has access to or can have access to that information. Right? That's simple. Joe Messina, your host. Be back in a few.
Omaha Steaks is rewriting the book on burgers with an all-new handmade texture for the juiciest home-style burgers you've ever tasted. Their pure ground burgers are made from single cuts of real aged Omaha steaks. These are truly steaks on a bun. Filet mignon, ribeye, New York strip, sirloin, and even brisket burgers. Now is the time to experience the exclusive Burger Perfection Flight for just $79.99. Go to omahasteaks.com and use promo code TREAT at checkout to get an extra $20 off your order, plus free shipping. You'll get 4 of each pure ground burger, so you can sample all the steak on a bun greatness. These burgers are crafted for a juicier, more tender experience, making your mouth water with every single bite. Don't wait. Go to omahasteaks.com, use promo code TREAT at checkout, and get $20 off the Burger Perfection Flight and discover your new burger obsession. Minimum order may be required.
You've been working hard, doing the right thing, and paying your taxes, and putting your hard-earned money in the Medicare piggy bank all your life. And now it's time to break the piggy bank and get something back. Medicare. If you didn't know it, Medicare is health insurance for people over 65, and you paid for it with your tax dollars. Medicare plans now have more benefits than ever. That's good news, especially if you're like me and looking forward to paying as little as possible for good health insurance. Call and find out what Medicare plan is best for you. Save your time. It's valuable. We've already done the research for you, and in one quick phone call, you can learn how to get the best Medicare plan designed exactly for you. Hey, it's one of the most important decisions in your life. Let us help you through it. Here's our number. Call 65 Plus Medicare now. 800-778-8214. 800-778-8214. That's 800-778-8214. Can your IRA stand up to the next financial crisis that our top economists are saying is at our doorsteps? By allocating a percentage of your IRA into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover, you can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns by putting your IRA back on the gold standard. Find out how to safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Call now for your free gold and silver report. Protect your IRA today with one simple phone call and learn how to qualify for up to $10,000 in free silver. Call Genesis Gold Group, empowering faith-driven stewardship. 800-504-1123. 800-504-1123. 800-504-1123. That's 800-504-1123.
We're definitely going to be late to the concert. I feel like we should be there by now.
I'm just taking a little detour. I gotta fill up my gas tank, and I know this place a couple towns over where the gas is cheaper.
Are you serious? We're going to be late for the concert because you're driving out of the way for cheaper gas? Just use Upside.
What's Upside?
Upside is the free cashback app that gets you real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait, I can get cash back just for buying the gas I need anyway?
Yes, I use it all the time, and I've made around $200. Now pull over so you can download the Upside app before we miss the concert.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PHIL25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank, PayPal, or as a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PHIL25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code PHIL25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's code PHIL25.
Attention timeshare owners. Tired of the financial stress? Were you misled by the salesperson? Don't or can't use your timeshare anymore? If any of these apply to you, then you may qualify for timeshare cancellation and get the relief you need now. Timeshare Defense Attorneys is the #1 affordable fixed fee legal solution in the country with an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. That's certainly better than my grades. They even offer a 100% client satisfaction guarantee. Let one of their experienced lawyers evaluate your case and explain the process. If they take you as a client, they'll work on your case until it's resolved in your favor, guaranteed. Expect great service and a close working relationship with your lawyer, keeping you informed every step of the way, protecting your rights, interests, and even your credit. It's that simple. Even a kid like me could understand it. The consultation is free. Call today.
800-875-1853. 800-875-1853. That's 800-875-1853.
I married your mother because I wanted children. Imagine my disappointment when you arrived.
We're back at it again. Joe Messina, your host, right? Whether you like it or not. I'm here to help you try to figure out what's going on. I bring on people like Brad Dacus to help us out. And listen, I say this not tongue-in-cheek. I mean, I'm saying this for real. There's a lot of guys out there that want you to believe that they know it all. I don't know anything. That's why I bring these people on, because they have a clue I don't. Brad Dacus, founder of Pacific Justice Institute, a great organization that will help you protect your kids, protect your rights. I've known him for years. I got to tell you, he's a great man of God, and not only that, and not just that, but he's willing to help anybody, any parent, anyone suffering through. I mean, what is it, Brad? We had a cycle of pastors being arrested, parents being arrested, just craziness going on in this country. That our founding fathers, if they could look down, they'd be going, what? That's not it. That's not what we did. We didn't. That's not what we did. Right?
Yeah. You know, you're right. In fact, in some ways, they would look back and say, well, actually, we had more freedom with regard to parents' rights back in England.
Oh yeah.
So what is this? You know, and yeah, it is very problematic in that regard, and hostility to people of the Christian faith as well is in some ways, you know, even can be argued to be worse than what they had in England. But definitely on parents' rights and definitely with regard to the safety of life. So it's a real challenge. You know, it's a challenge time we live in. But you know, here's the good news: is that first we have over 140 cases in active litigation. We have 37 offices coast to coast. We have the highest success rate we've ever had. The last 2 years have been incredible.
Really?
In terms of the case wins, not just the percentage, the high percentage of case wins, but also the largest judgments for jury judgments we've ever seen in the last 30 years. And then we've got cases pending for the Supreme Court. Right now we have the Korean spa case where the state of Washington tried to force a Christian-owned women's Korean spa just for women to allow a man to be naked in front of women and their 13-year-old daughters who are naked, because that's what Korean spas do. And then we just filed another appeal, if you will, petition for cert to the Supreme Court involving a case matter where the employee was fired, and she had sincerely held religious beliefs regarding the vax, but the judge held that no, I don't think you're really sincere enough about your religious beliefs.
Oh.
Even though there's no evidence to the contrary, except the fact that she also had medical reasons. They said, well, if you have any kind of medical or science reasons, then I'm going to assume you have no religious reasons, which is not logical. So anyway, so that's what they held. Well, most circuits in the country don't agree with that. That was the Ninth Circuit, and we are appealing it now to U.S. Supreme Court, and our attorney, Matt McReynolds, has just done a great job on prepping this case.
Wow. And these things, people, they pop up on a regular basis. This is, I don't want to say it this way, but it's the truth. This is nothing new. You've been dealing with this stuff as long as I've known you, these kind of crazy stories. You know?
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. And, to make an analogy of this, it's like someone who's Seventh-day Adventist who doesn't believe in, say, eating pork, or someone who's Jewish doesn't believe in eating pork, and their employer says, no, this is what we're having. This is a part of the retreat. You have to eat this. Da 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 da. It says, this is the only food. And they say, well, I have strong religious convictions against this, or just Jewish or Seventh-day Adventist or whatever. And they say, and also it's medically harmful, and it's not really healthy for the body according to my medical research. And this judge would say, aha, because you also have a scientific or medical reason to justify it, I'm not going to believe that you have a religious reasons to justify it. And you're wrong on the medical, and I've invalidated the religious because you have a medical reason. So I'm not going to even look at your religious reason. That's what they did in this case. And basically that's what they did. So we're hoping the Supreme Court's going to take it up and settle this once and for all to protect religious freedom, especially for those who are able to to be sincere and who may have other reasons to justify their decisions.
There's a couple of crazy ones out there, and I'm just going to touch on them because I know I don't give you much of a chance to go through them. In Minnesota, there was a city sued. There's a city being sued for demanding a Christian preacher pay a vendor fee to hold a pro-life sign at the park. Okay, near, not in, but near, I guess, a Planned Parenthood or something. And I was thinking to myself, how could a city charge you a fee to hold a sign? I see those all over the place.
Yeah, that is insane. Basically what they're saying is that in order to exercise a free speech right in a traditional public forum, which is what we're talking about here, in order to exercise your right, you have to pay money. Just think about that. What is a right if you have to pay money to exercise it? It's insane. So anyway, I think this is a very strong case, and I'm very confident that in the end the courts will find that this is unconstitutional. And it also, it also says something about the local leadership and the lack of quality of savvy or intelligence of those who are in this governing body. I mean, it's really sad. I mean, because the average person out there understands the basic concept that freedom isn't something you pay for. Otherwise, it's not free.
Oh yeah, no question. I love this. Didn't they have the same basic argument when blacks? What was it? They had to take some kind of test to vote. Remember that? And well, you weren't alive. I wasn't alive. But you know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, they're saying now you have to exercise a right that we gave you in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Well, you got to take a test to do it.
Yeah, or the poll tax.
Yes.
You have a right to vote. Well, if you have a right to vote, you don't have to pay money or be in a certain income bracket to be able to pay money to be able to vote. So, this is it's almost amusing, but I'm very confident that how the final outcome will be. Once again, people need to understand that when you elect these kind of people, to government, you're going to have these kind of silly rules and policies that end up costing cities money in terms of at the very least, attorney fees.
So, I love throwing some of these things at you because I think this is hilarious, and they're in the states that you just would know this is happening. I think in Washington State, this is where this went down. But there was a preacher that was arrested. He had a small amplifier. It wasn't like one of those big ones you see with the two big speakers on it, and he was simply preaching about, that God loves you and you should love your neighbor as you love yourself, because there were things going on in the park. Wasn't yelling, wasn't being disruptive. The police took his equipment and arrested him for it, and they wouldn't tell him why. We'll be back in a few minutes. Don't go far. A lot more coming up on the Joe Messina Show.
Attention homeowners. It's not if something's going to break, it's when. That's homeownership. If your dryer, your refrigerator, or your AC and heating breaks, that's an expensive call. And who do you call? Make it easy on yourself and call Choice Home Warranty. We've already done the research and have access to 25,000 technicians that can be at your home quickly. We've covered close to 2 million homes in the United States. There's a good chance your neighbors work with us. Call us right now before the next breakdown. We'll tell you everything that's covered in your home and give you the first month free with our ironclad 30-day money-back guarantee. Call now and learn how to get your free month.
800-378-2250. 800-378-2250. 800-378-2250. That's 800-378-2250.
Limitations and exclusions apply. First month free with purchase of single plan. Visit choicehomewarranty.com for more details.
Life is full of surprises. Some wonderful, some not so much. But here's one thing you can control: making sure your loved ones are protected if the unexpected happens. At EasyPlans.com, we make getting life insurance, well, easy. In just a few minutes, you can apply online and buy direct. No awkward phone calls, no confusing jargon, and no agent will contact you unless you request help. Just clear, affordable coverage, designed to fit your life and your budget. Fast approval, flexible plans, and unlike other online insurance sites, Easy Plans won't sell your information to others. So no endless phone calls and text messages. Whether you're just starting a family, buying a home, or thinking ahead, EasyPlans.com has you covered. EasyPlans.com. We make buying life insurance, well, easy.
America's News Update, I'm John Schaefer. The government shutdown is now in its fourth week, hitting millions of Americans. On Saturday, food assistance funding will run out for more than 40 million people. Flight delays are also rising, with more than 1,000 reported today as air traffic control faces staffing shortages. The Senate failed to pass a short-term spending bill for the 13th time. A new report shows strong private sector job growth over the past 4 weeks. ADP says preliminary data indicates an average of more than 14,000 jobs added per week through October 11th, a big improvement.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Despicable and disgusting is how Senator Katie Britt describes the just enacted Massachusetts law allowing abortions to be performed right up to the moment of birth. On the Salem News program this week on Capitol Hill with Tony Perkins, the Alabama Republican says pro-life Americans need to strongly speak out against laws like this.
What's happening in Massachusetts, it's despicable and disgusting. We are telling the truth. We are speaking that to the American people in the way they need to hear it. When I saw this law being passed and women cheering behind them about being able to take the precious life of their own
Need anyway? Yes, I use it all the time, and I've made around $200. Now pull over so you can download the Upside app before we miss the concert.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PHIL25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank, PayPal, or as a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PHIL25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code Phil25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's code Phil25.
Austin Powers always defeats me because he has Joe.
Joe?
Joe. The life force, the essence, the right stuff. What the French call a certain, I don't know what.
Okay, everybody loves horns, guys. Joe Messina, your host. Always a pleasure to have you with me. 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563. Get involved, get engaged. Truly be part of the solution. Okay, this is where my ADD shows, okay? While it's on my brain, Brad Dacus joins me. He is the founder of Pacific Justice Institute. And Brad, truly love when you're with me. I got to ask you a question. You heard about the Nick Shirley Act?
Oh, yes. Yes, I have.
They passed that yesterday, right? And, well, I mean, there was no doubt they were going to pass it, but they passed it yesterday. That cannot hold muster, can it? I mean, if that makes it to the Supreme Court, can you imagine them upholding that law?
I really can't. This is not unusual for the legislature in California to do this.
No, not at all. Right.
we at Pacific Justice Institute have taken more than one of their laws straight up to the Supreme Court for the Supreme Court to slam it as unconstitutional. We've done that before, and we're watching this very closely because I do believe that it will be challenged. It's not by us and by another law firm or legal group.
Right.
And I do believe it will, but I do believe there's a very good chance it will be struck down as unconstitutional. Here we are punishing someone who wants to report, be a reporter, to investigate. It's really insane. It's a violation of the First Amendment freedom of the press, I believe, and also free speech. And but the purpose of it is to protect criminals from being exposed.
Well, protect Newsom from being exposed.
Right, and politicians.
Yeah.
But Newsom, yes, I agree. There's a lot brewing with regard to fraud in California DOJ, and it's I know someone who's running for Congress, Jenny Ray LaRue. And she's done incredible work uncovering so much fraud and abuse of funds, federal abuse of funds here in the state of California. I was just astounded about how much she's uncovered, how effective it is. I'm convinced that I'd love to have her in the White House personally, or not the White House, but in Congress, because I would just love to see Congress, not just the Department of Justice and the state operations, but I'd really love to see Congress step up and see what happens. In fact, I'm going to be in Sacramento Capitol, on Wednesday at a rally to support Nick, and he's what he's doing, and it's just so and to oppose this legislation. The purpose of it is to silence people like Nick Shirley and what he's trying to be able to do. Well, we want people like him to be able to investigate without being punished for it, investigating criminal activity. So this is really insane. This legislation is so counter to the public needs of free speech, freedom of the press, and exposing and discovering criminal activity and exposing it.
Yeah, exactly. And again, isn't it ironic that the press is screaming how Donald Trump is trying to suppress them in the way he talks about them and not allowing them into the press room at times and that kind of stuff, and yet not a peep on this one, not a word from the quote unquote free press on this one, right?
Yeah, I know you'd think they would speak up, but it really is just outrageous from both a civil liberties perspective, constitutional rights perspective, but also just from a basic desire to fight crime and expose crime and criminal activity. So Nick Shirley, he's a hero of mine, and I'm going to be speaking at the steps of the state capitol next Wednesday. I plan to be there to support him and to oppose this terrible, ridiculous piece of legislation.
So, quickly, I'm just going to hit this one. It looks like it happened up in Oregon again. This was not a street preacher. This was a young kid, and basically just preaching about or speaking about loving your neighbor, as you love yourself, and God is love, and that kind of stuff. He had a very small, when I say small, I'm talking, it looked like 8x8 or 12x12 at max, little speaker and a wireless mic. Okay, and it was sitting on the sidewalk, and he was on the grass. And they came up, and he must have asked them about 15 times, what are you doing? Why are you grabbing me? Why are you moving me? And one of them finally said, you're not allowed to have amplification on the walkway, on the sidewalk and such. I've seen a couple other reports that Muslims were praying there earlier, and there was a, what's that thing, bullhorn, I guess? Something like that, one of those electronic bullhorns. So, I mean, these are those things where you go, okay, you wonder why there's not just a divide. You wonder why we're irritated and we're mad. It's kind of like, well, if you're going to let them do it, you better let us do it, right?
Oh, absolutely. So you can't have selective enforcement of noise ordinances based upon viewpoint or subject matter, which is effectively what they're doing. But even let's assume that this is just their policy and they enforce this against everyone. It still is likely unconstitutional because when we've done this before, we've defended people like this in Las Vegas and other places, pastors and others ministering. They come and they say, "Oh, this is a noise nuisance. We're, just for a disruption here. We're arresting you." But they can't do that unless they can, number one, have a measurement device as to the decimals that is being used by this person. Yes. Okay. And number two, they have to have an ordinance articulating what level of decimals is allowed, and they have to show that this level of decimals proven by this device, measurable device, is above what is approved. And we had Las Vegas and San Diego and other places over the country. Law enforcement, they get sloppy. They say, "Oh, there's a megaphone." And they can't. They have to be able to prove and have a measurable. They're not like millions of dollars. Law enforcement generally they're available, and so when they hear about this, they need to have their measurable device, measure it, and say, "Okay, you're above the limits. Either A, you need to cease and desist, or B, we're going to arrest you because your amplification device is above the limits." So maybe the amplification device allows them to turn down the level, but the decimals. But at any rate, usually these are wrong. They're invalid, and the charges are usually dropped. We file cases like this all the time in the past, and at the end of the day, the district attorney will drop the case, especially if they know Pacific Justice Institute has taken it on to defend the minister or preacher, giving their information.
You know what we got to do? We got to put a division together, a PJI, that just sits outside the California courthouse. I mean, California legislature, with a hotline, and bang, lawsuit. You did what? You passed what? Bang, lawsuit. Because I told you, I had legislators tell me, California legislators that I know, say, Joe, they know what they're doing. They're banking on the fact that nobody will take them all the way to the Supreme Court. They're banking on the fact that people will, if they pass 100 laws, they might get 3 or 4 to the Supreme Court. The rest of them they get to run with. So
right. That's why we have 8 attorneys in 5 offices here in California alone. Wow. We have 37 offices coast to coast, but 5 of those are just in California for obvious reasons, and we're very aggressive up and down the state. And one of the things we have our strongest offices is right there in Sacramento, partly because of the legislation that's passed that we need to challenge.
Well, I tell people all the time, even some of the other trustees that I connect with and what have you, that I couldn't do what I do without PJI. I couldn't do what I do without information that you give me. So I know what I can. I'm not one of those rogue people. I always call them and I say, look, I want to push back on this, or I want to do this, or I want to do that. How far can I take it? And Brad will give me guidelines to work with. And I got to tell you that 9.5 out of 10 times, you know what? They back down. It works. So we can make things happen. And so having information, having knowledge, what is it? Knowledge is power. And my Bible tells me to seek godly wisdom, which is why I call you. And you give me the information I need to be able to step out on it. And again, we win. We continue to win like that. And we can't be afraid to fight it. Seriously. All right, we'll be back in a minute now that I ate up all his time. Don't go far. A lot more coming up. We're going to talk about your kids going back to school and how you can protect them. We'll be back in a few.
Have you ever picked up a towel set because it felt really soft in the store, but then when you go to use it, it's not very absorbent? That's why MyPillow has developed the MyPillow towels. Towels that work. The 6-piece towel set includes 2 bath towels, 2 hand towels, and 2 washcloths. And right now you can receive a 6-piece set for only $39.98 with promo code USA. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener special, and enter promo code USA, or call 800-951-8175. That's MyPillow.com, promo code USA.
Take as little as 3 minutes to see if you could save on motorcycle insurance with Progressive. Come on, you've spent more time than that trying to name your bike.
How about the Crusher? I guess it's not really crushing anything. The Silver Bolt? No. Oh, what about Pepper? Mysterious. Is it a pet or a condiment? Surprise! It's a motorcycle. No, that's stupid.
Get a quote in as little as 3 minutes at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Do you have a story to tell? Bring your story to life with audiobooks. Great stories deserve great storytelling. Audiobook Network provides professional voice actors and full production services for every author's manuscript. From narration, production, and editing to distribution, promotion, and sales, Audiobook Network handles everything. If you have a print book, ebook, or even a manuscript, call Audiobook Network now and get our free audiobook guide. 800-734-1229. 800-734-1229.
I'd like to introduce you to our new sponsor, Get the Tea. Get the Tea carries all natural, non-GMO organic teas and supplements made in the USA. Get the Tea's ingredients are the purest available. My favorite is Life Change Tea. Life Change Tea is a gentle daily cleanse containing 12 herbs that when combined really keep things moving. I drink it every day and my energy has never been better. I'm feeling great. Life Change Tea comes in 3 delicious flavors, natural, peppermint, and pomegranate. It's an easy and delicious way to keep your digestion on track. And for those on the go, try D365. D365 is Life Change Tea in a capsule. Drink the tea or take D365 capsules and keep your digestion running smoothly. Go to getthetea.com and enter discount code USA to get 10% off any size order. That's getthetea.com, discount code USA for 10% off your order.
Okay, I'm talking funny because I'm in the witness protection program. I have too much credit card debt and I don't want people to find me.
Okay, I'm just kidding. We're going to talk about credit card debt. Right, those plastic things that we all have in our wallet. Are you in your 50s or 60s and you're still carrying around a mound of credit card debt? Wouldn't it be nice to start banking that money and save a little money for retirement down the road? We help people restructure their credit card debt all the time. We show people how they can get out of credit card debt in months, not years. Listen, you'll be carrying around credit card debt for the rest of your life unless you deal with it right now. We offer a free consultation so you can learn how you can finally wipe out your credit card debt and start saving money. Give us a free call right now.
Call Debt Solutions Network now. 866-451-3328. 866-451-3328. That's 866-451-3328.
If you're a diabetic, we have great news. You can end the painful finger sticks with a new CGM. Plus, they may be covered by Medicare, Medicaid, or private insurance. If you test and inject daily, you may qualify. Call US Med now to learn more.
800-471-7065. 800-471-7065. 800-471-7065. That's 800-471-7065.
Attention. This is a public notice from the Social Security Disability Helpline. If you're one of the millions of Americans who are disabled and unable to work, you may be eligible for disability benefits from Social Security. Receiving benefits is your right. If you suffer from physical or mental disability, whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied, we can help. We'll evaluate your situation and deal with Social Security on your behalf. Best of all, there's no fee until you receive your benefits. Remember, we only get paid if you win your case. There are many reasons and conditions that may make you eligible for disability benefits. Many of them you may not be aware of. So if you're disabled and unable to work, call now to get started with your free, no-obligation consultation.
800-362-9337. 800-362-9337. That's 800-362-9337.
Can't you see what I'm trying to tell you? I love you. Why don't you marry me?
Why, marry you?
You take me and I'll take a vacation. I'll need a vacation if we're going to get married.
We are back at it again. Joe Messina, your host. Always a pleasure to have you with me, 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563. Look, get involved, get engaged, be part of the solution. It's my mantra. I'm not giving it up. I hope you get so sick of hearing it that you actually go do something. I actually had somebody run for office and win, and she told me it was because, after hearing me for 2 or 3 years saying, do something about it, stop complaining about it if you're not willing to take action. And she did, and she won. It was great. So, but look, we're back to school. Everybody's back to school now. And so what you're seeing happen is there's new policies, new rules at the schools. I mean, people have been calling me about vaxes. They've been calling me about class curriculum. What can they do? I mean, overwhelmed. My area, my district has about 22,000 kids. I say that equates out to about 16 to 18,000 sets of parents. And I get it. You guys don't know what your rights are, and you're horrified by some of the stuff you see. And it's hard to keep up. But Pacific Justice just did an event where you could find out and help people like me understand what's going on and how we can help parents. And Brad Dacus, founder of Pacific Justice, that joins me. And Brad, how did the call go?
Oh, it was fantastic. It was actually a wonderful Zoom presentation, and via YouTube live YouTube panel, and it was back to school, and together we discussed curriculum, transparency, sex education, gender policies, opt-out rights, religious freedom, and what parents can do when the school crosses the line. And here's the good news: it was live. The good news is we had it recorded, and it's now available, I believe, on our website, pji.org, and when they watch it, I encourage them to like the site and to subscribe, because we're having a lot of people, when they do that, it basically allows our information to have a broader distribution and go up higher on with our algorithms, etc. So I don't understand all of it. I just know the more people that push those buttons, the higher up the viewers are going to be, and the exposure it's going to have. So, but it's very valuable. It's only an hour, but we covered so much information, and we had, Eric Bueller of Gateways to Better Education. We had Brenda Lepsack, who's been a wonderful parent rights activist. She's on the school board there in Santa Ana. I've worked with her directly in the past, and it was very, very substantive, very informative. So I encourage parents that have their kids in public schools, definitely watch this very substantive video.
Well, and again, it's getting in. It's like I always say, get informed, right? You got to get informed to know what you can do, know what you can move out on, and how you can make things happen. So that's why I'm telling you people, don't give up. They're your kids. Don't give up. It's really that simple. So and PJI is a great place. You know, let's not stop there, Brad, because you got parents that listen. I know they listen to you on other stations. They listen to you on this station. And when people need information, I mean, you've got information on your website. You've got opt-out forms. You've got, you know, how to take your school back. There's so many options, correct?
Oh, yes, definitely. And the resources are so valuable. They're all free. You know, some groups will create a generic opt-out form for all 50 states. It's generic. We don't do that. We're professional attorneys. And what we do is we customize the opt-out form looking at state laws and state case law to maximize the impact to the greatest degree possible with regards to parents' rights in each individual state. In addition, of course, to the federal law, constitutional law, you know, et cetera. So it's very, very powerful. They're customized for each state, and they're easy to download on our website, pji.org. To me, if a parent has a child in any public school anywhere in the country, this is a no-brainer. I almost call it parental neglect if they don't download this opt-out form and use it to protect their child preemptively from all kinds of things that parents would not want their child reasonably to be exposed to or to experience.
Yeah, I agree with you. You know, I realize that parents have got a lot going on today. I mean, there's things that pull them away from paying attention. I always say the same thing, though. And
yes.
I get negative mail from it. Sometimes I go, look, those kids didn't ask for you. You had those children. They're your responsibility to care for. And care for, sometimes it's a pain in the butt, and it requires a whole bunch of time to find out what's going on at their school. Remember, kids don't want the aggravation. So when you say, hey, what happened today at school, or did this happen or that happen? Did you hear about this? A lot of times they'll just blow you off and say, no, I didn't hear that, or I don't remember that, or that didn't happen. You got to pay attention. You got to find out what's going on there at the schools, you know. And I'm a trustee at a school, one of the largest school districts in the state, and I can tell you in the beginning of school this week, in the last 2 weeks, I guess, I probably fielded 50, 60 phone calls from parents who didn't like something that was on a form, or didn't like the reading list, or. And because of you and because of Pacific Justice, I'm able to say to them, no, here's what you can do. Here's the ability. And I actually sent some to the website to get the opt-out forms. And I said, you've got a right. Open your mouth. Don't let the teacher or staff or anybody else push back on you and say, no, you really shouldn't do that, or you can't do that. No, you can do that. You can opt your kid out of certain curriculum. You can opt your kid out of certain things. Don't be afraid.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, and the parents don't have to do a ton of research to do this. All they have to do is simply download this opt-out form, check the boxes,
yep.
and then submit it as we talk about how to do it. It's very easy. It's very quick. It's extremely powerful in protecting children. And parents have more rights now, partly because of the Supreme Court's Mahmoud versus Taylor case last summer, and some other case law, some incredible case law. They have more rights now than they've had in decades, if not since our nation's founding. They just need to exercise it, and the stakes are so high, especially in public schools, which I now use the term spiritual death camps, because statistically, that is what they amount to in almost all cases.
Oh yeah.
When it comes to the impacting of children K through 12. So this is something very substantive. Parents can use it, and it's protected. And if a school district doesn't respect it, doesn't implement it, then we stand by without charge to do the heavy lifting to make sure that they do, and that they're held responsible if they don't.
Yeah, I had a dad with 3 girls in high school. He finally moved to Tennessee. He couple of instances in the classroom, one where the same teacher actually made fun of a young lady because she believed in a guy that walked on water. which was, physically impossible, scientifically impossible, and he wouldn't let up on her. So he finally decided, rather than start trouble for all the girls, to leave. And it saddened me because it shouldn't be like that. School is not supposed to be like that. So I don't know. Next time, a lot of these people don't want to come forward. They don't want to start trouble. You know that. You've been involved, and I have some parents that say, I don't want the retribution. I can't guarantee that there won't be, and we'll fight it if it happens. But hey, I'm going to switch gears on you for a second. There's been a lot of judges as of late, like the judge that tried to stop Trump even after the Supreme Court said he could deport the Haitians, or he could deport this group, that group. You're seeing more and more judges doing that and getting in the way right after the Supreme Court. Is there anything, and this question has now been asked to me about a dozen times, is there anything that Justice Roberts can do to rope them in?
Arguably, and I believe the Supreme Court will, and I've said this before and I've been wrong, so with that caveat, arguably, the Supreme Court can, in addressing this, be much broader in their decision and its language, encompassing all groups that are brought in for temporary asylum, if you will. And I think that's what they're going to need to do, and have clear language, making it clear that independent judges do not have a right in any way to ignore their order, and if it is ignored by a judge, and that actions will be brought against them, and et cetera, et cetera.
But Roberts can't unilaterally do something to a judge. He can't suspend a judge while they investigate or any of that stuff. Correct?
Right.
Okay.
Congress can remove a justice.
Through impeachment, and that's
yes, exactly.
That's a big deal.
And then also the judge can be disbarred. From by the Bar Association. But the problem here is almost all states are dominated by the left, and they're actually feeding into some of this, arguably. So.
All right, we're up against the time. People, if you want some more of this sage advice, you want to see some more of their product, what they put out there, and help support them, you go to pji.org, and God bless, Brad. God bless for what you're doing, and we keep praying for you. And people, you want a good place to put your money, pji.org. All right, we'll be back in a little bit. Don't go far. We're going to talk about your kids' fentanyl problem. Maybe he doesn't have one, but the people around him do. We'll be back in a little bit.